Let's take you to Galilee. Let's bring you this report filed by Central Regional Correspondent who happened to be closer to the place and also filed this report about sanitation in Galilea.
The Galilea market is one of the municipality's major food trading hubs, home to the tilapia market, coconut oil market, and the popular local Jen Akpeteshi market. But the choked drains and foul stench around the area paint a disturbing picture of neglect. Residents say they constantly see people dumping refuse directly into open drains, but admit they feel powerless to stop the practice. Living in such conditions, residents say, has become extremely difficult and unhealthy.
When it's rained heavily, instead of the water to pass through, go down there, look at a different path here. Meaning that we need a gutter here.
Because na kakra but dia da bia emu bon nkofo de bola gum wo no ho anti se kakra petia na afa begu ha ti age se me papa ya wo hu ni no de adena ya de tiwula no de apiapia.
Within the enclave also lies a waste transfer station that is virtually turned into a landfill site. Containers and tricycles belonging to waste management firms Sisbros and Zoom Lion are stationed here, but the facility is poorly managed, deepening residents' frustration.
Trouble I mind is a go if you be cry, ya could be our Bahadana cry, but I could be new, but I could be near right to be nice yourself. So, Homo ye names you no more the board than be Omutu.
Workers at the site operate without protective gear, exposing themselves to health and safety risks. A former assemblyman for the area, David Bolo, who volunteers to desilt choked drains, expressed disappointment at the inaction of local authorities, despite the site's closeness to the Gas South Municipal Assembly.
It is very bad, but we have been working on it since time immemorial, but it is not working because we've been during the former Kufuor time. We have been written to the Assembly concerning the gutter, but nothing has been done about it. Even when the drip came, we thought it would come to solve the problem, but ever since, nothing was done about it.
Whilst his boss waste management company could not be reached for comment, the Zoom Lion manager for Wejagbawe and Gas South, Emmanuel Kofi J, declined to speak on record, but clarified that the transfer station is not under Zoom Lion's management.
This is a very sad one in Galilea, a very disturbing one. I'm sure that maybe if you're taking your breakfast, we apologize, but we would have to push the agenda so that at least the government to see what is really happening when it comes to sanitation and the urgency in resolving sanitation issues in this country. Akwesiado, who is our man who filed this report, is joining us live. Akwesi, good morning.
Good morning, Philip and Chris.
Hi, good morning.
Akwesi, I like your brevity. I like the fact that you were able to go to the place and you stood there to file this report. How was the feeling like when you were filing this report in such an environment?
Not a very pleasant one. You can imagine stepping on uncollected refuse that has been tied up for several months, containing some amount of water and all that. And then at a point, because I wanted to speak to this guy who works at the site, I had to climb one of the tricycles. And I didn't want to touch the tricycles at all. So I had to literally jump on the tricycle. So you can see that this wasn't pleasant at all. And if I just visited the place for just once is telling you that this is not a pleasant situation, then you can imagine the kind of traumatic experience people are having in the area. because the stench here is that bad. And imagine frogs entering into your room. Imagine flood water carrying uh, refuse from the landfill site into your room or compound anytime it rains. This is not something that people can live by.
Wow. And do you know how long this situation has been?
It's been here for a very long time. So let me say that previously I resided in this area. There's an estate here. That was where I resided, and I lived here for about 2 years. Then I left,
Right.
and I've spent 2 years at my current place of residence. So it means that it has been here for a very long time, for close to a decade. But
Right.
you see, the residents here thought that something was going to be done about the situation, considering the fact that the Gas South Municipal Assembly constructed its office right within this area as far back as 2018. So the idea was that, oh, now that we are having the assembly getting closer to us, it means that something urgent was going to be done about the situation. But since then, nothing has been done, and the problem keeps compounding.
Right. Right. So talking about compounding, does this compound of refuge actually cause health problems in the area?
Please come again, Chris.
Are there health problems in the area? And if yes, what kind of health problems have you noticed or have they recorded in the area?
Okay, exactly. So we spoke to a former assembly member of the place, and what he told us is that there are cases where they record cholera diseases among residents, and then also a number of malaria cases, because there are mosquitoes that breed in the tube gutters here. And let me also emphasize that this area we're speaking about is one of the major food markets within the municipality. So we have the market is been divided into 3 parts. So we have that part where staples are sold, and then we have the tilapia market. This tilapia market serves mostly almost all the entire central region, because there's no tilapia market in the central region apart from this one. So apart from serving gas out in the greater Accra region, it is also serving the central region. Then we have this market here where they sell coconut oil and then akpeteshi. And then the coconut oil, I am told that after they are brought from the western region to this place, it is further transported to Accra for the final sale. So it looks as if this place is just a transit point for the coconut oil. And you can imagine the number of people who are eating from this particular market. And so it is not just about the Galilea community that is at the risk of having diseases, but rather several other municipalities stand to be affected should nothing be done about this current situation we are witnessing here.
Wow.
Wow, you are very brave and to have been in this area to file this report. But in the area, I saw that the drain is choked. Is that the only drain they have there? And they did tell you how often maybe they desealed this drain or also went back on this sanitation drive, especially when the president of the day has indicated that we should embark on this cleanup exercise once a month. That is the first Saturday of every month.
Okay, so let me give a vivid description of the area, then I come to your question. So this happens to be the lowest part of this community. So we have the flyover with drains connecting to the community. Then we have, you can see clearly from my back, the Gas House Municipal Assembly is right here. So there are other drains also coming from that end. But you see, when it gets to just a few meters away from where I stand, the drains have not been constructed. So this is just an open gutter. And some residents have been dumping refuse directly into the drains. So when it rains, it washes the refuse to this open gutter, and then it is stuck there. I've just seen the assemblyman, the former assemblyman passing by. So he volunteers, and then once in a while, he would collect some amount of the refuse just to give the stagnated water some sort of passage. Talking about the sanitation exercise, I haven't seen much being done within this particular community so far as the National Sanitation Day exercise is concerned.
So if nothing is done, this will be left like that, and people will be going about their day-to-day activities with filth all over them, and also drains choked. Is that what it is?
Look, so the first container that is closer to the drain is the shop of a seamstress. A few meters closer to it is a local eatery. Someone is preparing banku and then frying fish. There are people seated and they are eating. So you can imagine the kind of situation that is here. And what baffles the mind of people is that the environmental department of the Gas South Municipal Assembly, they have their office right within the premises of the municipal assembly. And they've been going there to report that, look, come and do something about this for us. And they get no better response. The former assemblyman was even telling me that recently he suggested to the assembly to bring the drip equipment just so they can even desilt the choke gutter and also to collect some of the refuse from it. And he still not had any response from them. And then talking about the landfill site, which is creating the mega mess. This is not managed properly because it is in the bosom of a private person who is now deceased. And so there are rival groups that are even trying to take custody of the place because when these tricycles come to dump waste there, they pay some amount of money. And ideally, this is a place that should be fumigated frequently. And then because it is a transfer site, the refuse shouldn't be here for a long time. But we have containers belonging to Six Gross Waste Company and then Zoom Lion. They are full to the brim. They are spilling over, and they have not been collected for several months now.
So as we speak now, uh, the containers are still full, and we don't know when next the companies would come there and pick this containers or whatever it is and take to the appropriate place for it to be done. But did you find any attendant at the supposed landfill site? And did he also share with you, say, how much is taken from individuals if they come there to dump their waste?
So there's only one person I met there, and of course, he is just a scavenger. He goes there to scavenge for plastics and then some metal waste. Then he would also sell and then make money. So we have no idea as to how much the tricycles pay to them. But what we do know that the place is not properly managed, and the Gas South Municipal Assembly, from what we have gathered, is aware of the situation. Because I contacted the area manager for Zoom Lion, and then he told me that ideally, what should be happening is that this transfer site should be managed by a competent waste management company, say Zoom Lion, so that they bear responsibility for everything that happens there. Talking about the Zoom Lions containers that are in the area, he told me that it is the assembly that decided to place the containers there, but not a decision that came from Zoom Lion.
All right, but how do the people of that area feel exactly? What are they saying when it comes to the issue of, of this whole sanitation problem right now?
The people are extremely worried, and they are also disappointed in authorities that nothing is being done about the situation, even though it poses some major health risk to the people who live around. See, it's very difficult living in this area. The kind of breeze around this area, the kind of atmosphere here, people have to step on refuse to get access to their homes. This is a fully developed community, and this is within the heart of the community. So you can imagine there are beautiful houses around. Like I mentioned to you earlier on, there's a very nice estate also around, and then we are having this awful situation here. It isn't something that the residents are so cool with.
I actually wish we spoke to the MC for the area and Moses Okanse for us to tell us what the plans are to.
And you see, Philip, talking about sanitation within the Gas South municipality, it really needs some sense of urgency because we are now discussing the situation within the Galilea community here. But if you use the main road, that is the N1 highway, from the Galilea market through to English Yamanfrom, you see the median of the road has a drain. The drain has been filled with refuse from Galilea market to English Yamanfrom, and nobody is doing anything about it. You will get local residents and then some persons who ply commercial activities around dumping waste directly into it. Sometimes they contain, excuse me, it's too early, but human excreta. And when people are crossing the road, they step in it.
Wow. We have a big issue. Maybe if you are just watching us, this is the situation at Galilea. You would also want to join us with your thoughts, submissions, and comments. Akwesi, don't go, so that we also know the situation about sanitation in your area, because we would have to give this a lot more attention on the show so that people will know what is happening in other people's communities, and also what the government together with the private organizations who are in waste management must do about sanitation in our area. If we don't pay much attention to this, it may get out of hand and it may lead to other issues that we may not be able to control. But Akwesi, with what we are seeing on the screen, which has to do with the refuse there, is it that from all indication it's going to be like that for a very long time, or one will say that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that eventually we will find a solution to this big problem?
That's a very important question. It looks as if, sadly, residents may have to endure this particular situation for quite a long time. Because look, when I spoke to the area manager for Zoom Lion, what he told me is that they currently have issues with getting access to a landfill site. So currently, as we speak, the Gas House Municipal Assembly's landfill site is located around in Sanwami, the eastern region.
Wow, that's far.
You can imagine, yes, that's very far. You can imagine the distance. He raised concerns with payment for the services delivered by Zoom Lion by government. There's always delay in payment, but they've got to service their trucks, they've got to buy fuel, they've got to pay personnel. And then also, they are now in competition with these Abuboya or tricycle waste collectors. So instead of maybe residents signing up with Zoom Lion, just so Zoom Lion would collect their waste from their homes at a fee, that is not happening. So it looks as if the informal waste collectors go to collect the waste, and now the former waste management companies like Zoom Lion would not have to be dealing with it from the secondary level. And it's really a matter of concern to them. But so you just saw that there's a broken down track there that has not been serviced yet. We don't know whether the company would be able to service that. There are containers that are rusted and torn apart. We don't know when they would be able to refabricate these containers and then bring them back. So it looks as if the state or government would have to get an elaborate plan to deal with waste management in the country, especially in urban centers.
All right, so talking about Zoom Lion and the amount that they collect from people to take their trash and all that, how much do they charge?
That we have no idea how much lion charge the people.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
I was in,
Except that they are now in a very high competition because you know these tricycle guys, the informal guys, they just come to your house. If you give them as low as 50 pesos or even a cedi, they will just collect your waste. But you do not know, or they also do not know where the final destination of the waste they've collected would land or would be.
Akwesi, thank you so much for your time. Akwesi Ado is our Central Regional Correspondent. He brought us that troubling news at Galilea. Mind you, we are bringing issues on sanitation and watching what we are seeing on screen and hearing what we are hearing. It tells you that we need a bigger plan and approach towards the fight against illegal or haphazard disposal of waste. If we are fighting galamsey, we should look at the ways we can also deal with sanitation, because eventually sanitation or improper waste management can also affect our water bodies if we do not know. We were here when Otibles, who is the committee chair in Parliament on sanitation and water, also made mention of the fact that though we are fighting galamsey, we should look at the issue with sanitation, which is also affecting our water body. Listening to Akwesi and from what he has said, Galilea, if you are in that area, you may not know where a fly will lie and would come and settle on your foot and you would be sick. We've been learning.
And the issue of the oils that we buy.
Exactly. We've been learning this in school for a very long time. Science, Greek, whatever it is, social studies and all that. But this is the reality. We have to move away from this. So we're just pleading with the government. For us here, we keep saying we can talk about it. We can also tell the story and push the agenda and also demand the change that is needed within our community. So that is my way of visiting the communities. Definitely we'll bring you another issue on sanitation maybe next week or